dear party people. Welcome to Senior Cats, the Bear Club. My name's Buddy, and I'm your host for tonight's conversation. My guest tonight is a wonderful actress who has starred in a Montclair Film Festival short film, PK. She also has a leading role in Zach Krasinski's Proof of Concept, Blasphemy, and is also starring in Senior Cat's upcoming project, Noise. Her new debut EP, Big Music Fan, is already on Spotify, and her new Christmas EP, I'm Keeping Christmas, is out now. I welcome Rachel Croom.
Hello.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, buddy?
I'm chilling. Let's start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you know you wanted to be an actress? What was the moment? Yeah, what was the moment that you knew you wanted to be an actress?
Man, I don't even know if there was a moment. It's kind of like I just started doing things. Like I stole my dad's old camcorder that we used to record just like Christmas morning, and I like took my Barbies, and I don't know if I was pretending I had a YouTube channel or if I was pretending it was a TV show, but I would like sing into the camera like the transition music and I would just like make up stories of them like going on adventures and things. And actually no, I did think it was a YouTube channel because the little camera that I had said stand by when it wasn't recording, but I didn't know what that meant, like STBY. I was like, oh, it's like stubby. Oh, I'll call it the stubby channel. that's my beginnings of acting.
That's so interesting because when I was younger, I definitely played with like action figures. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so funny. You used Barbies. I loved Transformers. And so I would play with Transformers and, funny enough, Sonic, which you can watch now. Or is that out now? It might be.
I don't know. There's like 8 movies of Sonic.
The IMAX trailer of Sonic is hilarious. Remember? It was just
wasn't there one that got like recalled?
Oh my gosh. It's hilarious. But I remember playing with them, but I never ever felt, I'm almost sure I had a video camera. Like my parents had one. Mm-hmm. And I would play with them, but I never ever ever had the inclination when I was younger to film them. Oh. So was there like, well, yeah, you thought it was like a channel. Yeah. But it's so interesting that, because I think Riley McHugh, I don't know if she did Tangerine Drum Machine.
Oh, she's amazing. I love her.
And so she has a really famous, oh my God, I'm putting her on the spot. She has a famous video of her remaking The Lion King, like with the Mufasa and Scar, like
stuffed animals?
With stuffed animals.
Okay, wait, this is so funny because I remade High School Musical 1 with Littlest Pet Shops.
I haven't seen, and I know what those are because in Nickelodeon, the amount of toy commercials that there are. Mm-hmm. Do you remember in Nickelodeon too that they'd have oh my God, what was the name? That skincare, the famous skincare.
Oh, Proactive?
Proactive.
Oh my God.
Oh, they pushed that shit so hard on Nickelodeon.
That was so crazy. Yeah.
So where was the next step after that? When were you performing? When did you ever start performing?
So like I did summer camps in my district, and they had like end of the year talent show things. Like I did that. I remember my lunch room in elementary school, they had like one teacher always at the front with a microphone saying like, table 1, go get your food. And at some point they had like lunch idle. So they would go up to that microphone, and while everyone is sitting like eating their Lunchables, someone was just singing. And sometimes it would be like groups of girls singing like Katy Perry. And then for me, I like went up there and took it so seriously, and I sang like Skyscraper by Demi Lovato.
Oh my God.
Belting at 9 years old. And I started acting classes at 9 years old. I then just like
through
did
like
that.
A camp, through the school?
Oh, no, through Actors Playground School of Theater in Freehold, New Jersey. They are the best place in the world, in my opinion. They just cultivate the most accepting and loving environment for you to just study acting and like make the mistakes. And they also just have the best teachers, and the training is so good. I was doing like Meisner, if any actors are listening. I was doing like Meisner and Stanislavski and Chekhov at like 10. And that's just very intense. But also once you like know it exists and there's a muscle to build with a certain acting technique, like it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're always just treated not like a kid, you aren't talked down to. They never talk down to you there. So like if you are always just kind of supported in what you want to do, it's so easy to just feel like, okay, maybe I'm not the best at it now. Sorry, there was a car horn. I don't know if that picked up. But like if you, what was I saying? This is
Well,
help.
Your upgrading really reminds me of Searchlight Pictures Theater Camp, which was an amazing movie. I think it came out last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For someone that has maybe watched that movie, how do you relate to that? What is the connection? Because I would think...
How I relate to theater camp? That's so good. Man, that movie really emphasizes the cheese of just like theater camp, and the cheese of it. It's so funny because I mean, first of all, Ben Platt and Molly Gordon are just like the funniest people ever, and they're both theater people, which is great. I mean, theater camp. So yeah, no, it's very true that we're all very emotional, and we can. The dynamics that happen between different actors and like the teachers and like the feedback, it's just very
accurate.
It's accurate to like middle school drama club. I feel like not Actors Playground. Actors Playground was like a different beast. I don't even know like
it was more serious.
Oh, it was a lot more serious and a lot more like. There was never like competition between like other people because there was nothing to compete for.
Okay.
We were just there to learn. It was
so you guys weren't putting on plays.
Oh,
you guys were just learning.
We were. Okay. So
I feel like some of the competition with acting is like who gets what role.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Yeah. And maybe like people could have felt that internally, but it was never like a thing where it was like, oh, this person got it over this person. I feel a certain way about it.
And the environment that you were in, it was just like...
Perfect. It was just like, yeah, everyone was good to each other. There was no tolerance for anything other than that. So it was the best place where you can just feel like you can fail, because that's like just so much of what making art is. You have to fail and you have to make you have to make a fool of yourself. So many times.
I feel like that is very... When I think of like... the method of two art styles which kind of correlate with each other, which is like a comedian and acting. I feel like making a fool of yourself is kind of the first step. Yeah. You have to be like prepared to do that, because or else it feels like you can't go anymore. Because if you feel like if you have to be perfect all the time, it's like impossible, and it's an impossible task. It is. But I feel like that's the step of like letting loose. And well, did you ever do stand up? No?
No, I never did stand up. But they do say in theater, they say if you don't feel stupid, you're not doing it right.
Yes. Yeah. Who was it? Gosh.
But also that's like, take that or leave. Like, it's very much so like you say that and like, you don't always have to feel stupid. Like sometimes you're like doing texts that you like really believe in and you're not like, I don't feel stupid. You know, but yeah.
I think it was I think it's Jonathan Groff.
Love him.
Who I think I am butchering who this is coming from. But I think he said that the nights that he felt like he hit all of his marks, he got all the lines right, all the cadences and everything, he felt like those were the nights where he got the worst reactions and he didn't feel as connected to the audience.
Yeah.
But the nights that he felt like he missed marks, he was imperfect, those were the nights where people came up to him and said, wow, you're amazing.
That is so true. I've gotten that feedback before. I've been like, man, I think that went really well. And then like, no one's ever said, oh, that sucked. But also specifically the nights in shows where I've been like, man, that was the worst performance I ever gave in my life. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow so I can fix all that stuff. I can't say bad words, can I?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can fix all that shit. Like now I feel dumb. But yeah, those were the nights that I got good feedback, and it was always so weird to me. It's also still weird to me because I think the hurdle with theater is that everyone is like far away from you, so you actually don't feel like a million eyes are on you. I think it actually is more difficult like when you're on camera. The pressure feels more intense because you're like, you can see every single pore. You're just like, you're up in my grill. And while that's amazing, it's just a different beast. I feel like I am more comfortable on stage than on camera, but I love them both equally. So it's just like a thing of...
I seriously am at like a toss-up now because I just saw Ben Kingsley was doing some sort of audience Q&A or something like that, and he was talking about how film has advanced acting in a way that nothing else could have, and it's because of the close-up, really. And the idea that in theater, you are fixed to one point of view. And of course, they want to try and make sure that everyone in the theater has a similar point of view. Like, no one is behind on, like, the other side of the stage. It's not like a 360 stage. They try to keep it to a certain angle.
Unless you're in the round.
Oh.
Unless you're in the round.
What is the round?
You don't know theater in the round?
No, what is that?
There's a stage in the middle of a room, and the audience is around that stage. Whoa. And then you have to play to so like they always tell you, sorry to cut you off from this thing.
No.
But like,
I never knew this.
Okay, so there's a thing that we call the fourth wall, which is like what you put up between you and the audience, and you keep yourself in these three walls. I mean, if you listen to my song, I'm Not Feeling the Love, trapped inside four walls you made up for yourself. I'm talking about theater. And when you're in the round, there's no like four walls. It's like you're just completely in it. You're just locked into what you're doing. You have to put up like a whole thing.
That's crazy.
And I did a production of Rock of Ages. Usually in the round, it's like supposed to be more of an artistic choice that you make because of like the intensity of a piece of work. However, I did the silly jukebox musical, which is epic and amazing, and I love Rock of Ages, in the round, which was so funny because also like as an actor, always making sure that you're not like facing away from the audience. Like you always want to be cheating out.
Yeah.
But in this, you have to be turning around all the time. Like you're like,
oh, yeah.
Like this.
That sounds insane. I never even knew that existed.
Yeah, it's wild. Circle in the Square Theater in New York is a specific theater that's in the round, and it's beautiful. That's
got to be a wild experience. Because with what I was saying before, I feel like the thing that film has, and what's funny, because both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. I think the advantage that film has is that you can be wherever. The camera can technically be wherever. It can be in any angle and can be magnified to whatever you want it to be, according to the director's vision. And the disadvantage that film has is that of course, we just watched Interstellar and we were very emotionally attached to that because of the performances and because of a million other things that happen during the film. But the one thing is that film does not have is that the direct connection between a human in front of you pouring emotion And technically a screen or a projection of them in front of you is uncomparable. It's impossible to, you try to create it in film, but there's nothing like seeing literally someone cry on stage.
Yeah.
It's like devastating.
It is.
And
It's so easy.
and literally the disadvantage of theater is just that sometimes you just want to be in a different angle, but you're so fixed to your seat. But the thing is that I cannot trade the connection of seeing a human being. Like I saw Hades Town not too long ago, and it just destroyed me. Like it was so good, but it's because the connection. I want to get closer. I want to be in different points and different spots on the stage, but it's kind of like that trade-off. It's either you have this or you have that.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you have a preference?
God, I don't. I mean, okay, I do have a preference.
Okay.
I love both equally, but theater is my home. And it's because of that connection. And it's also because
Rehearsal. I've always heard rehearsal is like a different beast.
Sometimes rehearsal's better than what ends up being the final product.
I know.
It's really funny in that way.
There's barely any rehearsal when it comes to film.
That was very hard for me to learn because when the first film that I ever like really did, like I did little dinky short films like on an iPhone because it was like a assignment for an acting class. I did that in high school. But as far as like doing a short film with a crew, this is a thing. It was PK. And
That was the first one you did?
ever. That was the first time I was like on
Holy
camera
shit,
as a thing.
that's crazy.
I was
That was actually
really
a
scared.
that was actually a really big production for a short film.
It was a really big. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Wow. Okay, so how'd you handle that? How was that?
So
Because I think he held auditions. He did auditions,
oh
right?
yeah, no, I fully found
Go
it
from the top to when you got on set.
So okay, so I graduated high school in 2022.
Okay.
And I decided I decided to not go to college September of 21. So that entire senior year for me was just like, I need to keep my head down. I need to figure out what I'm going to do to like catapult myself into like the reason I'm not going to college is because I'm so hungry to just be working. And it's because I know that like I would be going to like another class of me learning how to do the thing when I just want to like make the mistakes when I'm like doing a Broadway audition and I fuck up. Like I don't want to like I wanted to learn by doing and also I felt okay to make that decision because I've never like skimped out on training. Like I've been training for a very long time and I wanted to continue that training, but I didn't want to do it in a college setting. I also just felt like that setting would have stifled me. I think like I thought about the dorm situation and I thought about I'm going to be taking I'm sorry, like I'm going to be taking a math class when I'm just trying to focus on this like work and I just didn't want to do it. And I also knew that I wanted to make work for myself. And I was like, when am I going to have time to do that if I'm trying to juggle classes and all the other theater artist things, like writing songs, like obviously like the EP, like that was all written like between my decision to not go to college in my senior year and like the end of summer of 24. No, not 24, 23. But okay, I'm all over the place, but I'm gonna get there. I promise.
No,
this is how I
believe in you. Believe me,
you.
I understand.
Thank you. So I graduated and I was like setting up my Actors Access profiles, my backstage profiles, my casting networks, blah, blah, blah. And I was always applying to things. I was sending in a million self-tapes and it like would have been my freshman year of college. And that's just like what I was doing. I was writing songs too at that time. So I was and I was also just like trying to set up like my room, and then I had, because I'm an only child, I had like an extra room in the house it was my playroom, but because I was going to use it as a workspace, now it's like my music room. So I like have all my stuff in there, and I could work in there, and I was setting up my room so I could work there, and it was like a whole thing. I was like completely reinventing my living situation in life. And it was pretty lonely sometimes because I'm like trying to figure all this out, and I'm just home doing all of this and doing these self-tapes like in my basement. So I saw PK on Backstage, and I saw Nick's like Seed and Spark little thing, like his little video that he made.
Oh my God.
I know.
That video is so funny.
It's so cute. And I remember being like,
Calvin
he's
in that
so
video
cool.
is hilarious.
He is. I remember being like, oh my God, the guy behind the camera is like hilarious. It's so funny. And I saw that and I was like, man, this is a good guy. All the things that I had been applying for were like so like just... It was sketchy. It was all kind of sketchy. And I was just applying to apply, and I just wanted to get myself out there. And I was talking to some directors that were just like weird and whatever. And I was like, man, this would be a really cool opportunity. And it's also like in Montclair. Like some of the things I was applying to were in like Virginia. Like it was just anywhere.
Ouch.
Yeah. So.
So you made a self-tape for PK. What was the scene? If you remember.
I think it was.
Or did he give you like weird
scenes.
sides?
It was a weird sides. I think a few lines were like changed and stuff, of course. But there was this scene with the parents coming home from the party. Yeah, and then it was the scene in the church. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the talking about my parents used to take me here on Saturday nights. That whole thing, and. Yeah, I remember like I immediately fell in love with it too. And I was like, man, this would be really, really great to get. And I really want to work on this. So I didn't even film that self-tape in my basement. I went to my acting school, Actors Playground, and I went to, they use one of the rooms for like self-tapes and stuff. Like it's all painted blue, and like you can just like set up a camera, go for it. I like used their nice camera to do it as well, because I was like, I want this really bad. So I did that, and I read with my friend. Oh my God, I read with my friend Grace, who works at Actors Playground.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. And I did those 2 scenes. I sent them off, and then Nick was like, did he ask me to do a callback? I didn't do a callback. I think he just asked me some questions. Like we were on like the backstage chat board room thing.
My gosh.
Like the messages would go to your email, and then you'd have to be like, you have a new message on backstage, and you could easily not see it ever again.
Yes.
But I was checking every single day because I really wanted it. And I remember he was like, I want to like set up a Zoom with you, and blah, blah, blah. And like he offered me the role, and it was really cool. And he was like, yeah, like I'll send you all the details soon. And we like had a really great conversation. And I just came memorized, and I was just working on the character for a very long time.
So how long do you think you got that script before day of set?
It was March, right?
Yes, it was spring break. Yes, I think it was March.
Yeah, it was like March 8th through 11th, maybe. I feel like I remember it.
Maybe.
It's like possibly that. I think I got it in February, maybe mid-February. So like a little bit less than a month.
So you had the script for PK for about 3 weeks. When you get script, probably when you got script, you probably already knew what the days for set were.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is going on? What is going through your head? How are you attacking this rehearsal? Because usually I would imagine you can rehearse on a play for probably a month, 2 months, 3 months.
It's like about the same. I mean, it's a little bit longer for a play, but I've done productions where the turnaround was about like 3 weeks. That could have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're getting the script from script to day of acting, what are you doing? What is your day-to-day to what is your process?
My process, it always varies. I think something that I like to do is like every single day work on something. I'm not going to like drop it until right before. I think the thing that's most important to me is like, let me memorize everything so that I don't have to worry about a script in my hand. I don't have to worry about what am I saying next, because what you're doing as an actor is you're just supposed to, you're becoming this person. And if you don't know what you're saying next, like the thing is, like when you're a person, like you have a train of thought and you're going to continue that train of thought, and maybe you don't know what you're saying next, like sometimes just like word vomit, whatever, but if you like actually as an actor don't know like where the character is going at all, like you always know like kind of where you're going, so you have to. I'm not making sense.
No, you are. You need a path.
You need a path.
And
yes.
the path are the lines that you're going to have and the lines that you're going to say, and it is the script. And I think I would struggle during that process, because I think the first thing for me would be like I would read it and then I would be like saying it out loud. And then I would result to like, maybe this line doesn't make sense. This line doesn't make sense because I'm like situation, like you're involved in your character. And so that's when I would have questions for like the director, being like, I'm saying this, but I don't understand why I'm saying this. Or it could be any question like that. And I feel like I would get hung up around that a little bit. But yeah, like so you memorize all your lines. You now know the path. You know. Yes. So what is your next step after memorizing all the lines? Well, cadence and just blocking?
This is the thing. So you should never look at your lines and go, I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to have this cadence. That is that's how you know that you're not playing it genuinely or truthfully. Like you have to let it just happen the way that it happens. I think something that you really, something that I actually do before I do any kind of acting thing is I just like, you learn this in acting school, you just have to like let loose, and you have to just like breathe, and you have to just kind of center yourself. It's a weird meditative kind of thing, but it does help, and it helps you get out of your head. And I think I always picture my character like as a person. Like if I'm looking into a mirror and I'm like seeing someone else, that also like helps with like costume and stuff. Because then like once I see myself as the character, it's like, okay, I can kind of like make up the movie in my head. Movie in my mind is a theater song. So me saying that I'm laughing, but I'm making that up in my head. And I can just like picture myself like going through my day and stuff. And like reading a script, I always go through the whole thing of like, why am I saying this now? What, like literally like the vernacular even, like why.
While you're acting it?
Yeah. I'll start to just say the lines to myself, and I'll talk to my wall, and all those thoughts will just kind of like pop in my head. And usually actually, I wouldn't say usually, because I don't think I've done enough things for me to like make that statement, but I don't always have a lot of questions for this doesn't make sense, or like, why are they saying this now? And it does make sense. So if it doesn't make sense for Rachel, it makes sense for the character. Why? So and then
you make it make sense.
I do make it make sense.
Okay.
I do, yeah. And maybe I should start questioning more things. I think I actually had more questions for Zach on Blasphemy, because we really crafted a lot of Heather together. And I don't think I had a lot of questions as to like it's not even a question. I don't think I had a lot of things to say that went along the lines of this doesn't make sense. I was like, where did this come from? I can't really think of it. I mean, I think for Grace, it was a little simpler. It was shorter. I feel like there wasn't like a lot of room for her to, and like her big profound moment in the film was at the church when she's like unraveling all of this. And that was just very earnest, very much so like her experience. So I just kind of,
you played into
I was
that.
like, yeah, this is what it is. And I just, what you have to do as an actor is you either have to give over to your situation or you have to find a meaning. So finding a meaning is like, what happened in my life that's like parallel to this character? And how can I use that? When you give over to it, it's just completely accepting it and saying, this is what it is, and I'm just completely gonna let it be that and like transform with what's on the paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
That. What about
I love
scenes?
acting so much.
What about scenes? I feel like there's a difference between doing scenes by yourself and doing scenes with other people.
Yeah, monologue, soliloquy versus.
What is like? I'm trying to remember if in PK you had any like alone moments, because even in the bathroom you were talking to somebody.
Yeah, there were no moments like that in PK.
Okay. Yeah. If so, other than, to be honest with you, all of us had a really good time on PK. Even me ADing. Like, I mean, I was stressed, but not really that stressed.
You were
Like,
great. I remember you were like,
I didn't feel very stressed out,
good.
but because I knew we were gonna make the day, whatever. You get on set. I know you had a good time, but what was the work like? This is like your first short film that probably there's a little bit of pressure on you because it's like your first time. You know that there's money on the line because he's getting money and from Seed and Spark or whatever. This is like big. You're in a starring role. What is going through your head and how are you approaching the situation as we are about to call action for the first time?
Yeah, I kind of, I rested on my, just like all my acting classes and all my like theater work, because sometimes like you go on stage and it's just a bad day and you don't want to do it and you have to do like 4 shows that week. And something that I heard Leslie Odom Jr. say is whatever's happening to you before you step on that stage, use it. Just use it and go. You know what you're doing, use it. So any stressors that I had of like Drew was in my grill, or I was like, man, I'm really cold in this tiny little top. Like, and anything that was in my head, I'm like, man, I don't know if that last scene that we just did was good at all. And now I have to do this other one and I haven't even processed if I'm proud of my performance. And we just moved on right away. I don't even know what it looks like. Can I ask? Like anything that was happening, I was just like, use it and be in the moment.
So you just gave in.
I just gave in. I was like, I mean, there are moments in the film. I think this happens with like all art in the world. Directors talk about it. Musicians talk about it. Like, you are never fully satisfied with anything that you do. Even though you might be like the most proud of it in the world, there's always going to be like one thing you're like, And there's moments in PK that I'm like, I can tell I'm holding back a little bit. I can tell that I could have, oh, this line is actually making more sense to me now than it did then. And I wish that I understood it like that back then. But you can't do that to yourself. You can't like woulda, coulda, shoulda, you know, Taylor Swift. Yeah. We were just talking about that. But yeah, you have to, what I've learned is you just have to just accept, like, this just happened how it is, and you just have to accept it, and you have to also trust that your mistakes that you made are just gonna they're going to just teach you so much for the next thing. And like, that's like a very cliche, everyone says that kind of thing,
that's
but
what
it's
you
very
were doing.
important.
You were very much in that mood of wanting to fail, being ready to just do it. And if you make mistakes, you're going to learn on the way. With another massive difference is that, you know, when you do your show and you're performing in front of people, you're doing, from what I understand, the whole part. You're doing the whole thing. And even if you have another show that day, you're still just doing the whole thing. With film, not so much. You're just doing really tidbits.
Start and stop.
And it's very static and it feels, short stop. What did you have to do? Because if I remember right, I'm pretty sure it was 5 days of filming. It might have been 4, but I think it was 5.
I think it was 5, yeah.
And what did you have to do to yourself to change that flow? Because that is a very drastic flow from being on theater and in a show to being on a film set. You're doing not even the full scene. Sometimes you're not even doing the full scene. Sometimes you're doing half of a scene.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're doing a scene in the complete opposite direction of the script. And then tomorrow you're starting somewhere different.
Yeah.
What did you have to do during those 5 days to keep you focused and concentrated, and the stamina? I feel like you need the stamina.
Yeah, it's also like you're doing the scene and then it's like, okay, we're on lunch now and then we're going to pick up the scene again. And you're like, wait, I was in it. I was like, there was a tear halfway down my cheek. What do you mean? No, I'm kidding. But no, that is very, very difficult.
So what did you do? How did you handle that situation, if you remember?
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge learning curve at first. I remember being like, oh my God, I have to treat it like I do in rehearsal. So like in rehearsal for like theater and stuff, like you're always start and stop because like maybe you get new blocking or maybe you in the middle of it get a direction, like you're told to do different things.
So there's a similarity.
Yeah, there is a similarity. But like the final product of theater is like none of that. So you kind of have to go into like semi-rehearsal mentality. And because but also like in rehearsal, I was always like trying to be as on as I possibly could. I always do that just because I can practice correctly and I'm not practicing like incorrectly, like half-ass or anything. So
you developed a stamina of that because I'm thinking about like high school. Like after high school, you might be rehearsing for 2-3 hours every day. You're doing it 5 days a week. So that being on after a full 8 hours of school is like crazy.
Hard as fuck.
And it's also that stop and start where it's like, maybe we should go here. Maybe your voice should be over here or whatever. Yeah. And so, wow, I didn't know that was a thing. So that definitely helped.
Oh yeah, that
being
definitely
on
helped.
Set. Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
That's so crazy.
But it was still hard because you sometimes will like be getting ready and you'll be like prepping and then
they're still setting
camera's
up.
Dead. We have to change this card.
Yep.
The light goes out and then you're like, fuck.
You were just ready.
It. Yeah, because like just the prepping time in theater and stuff, it's very sacred and it's like, you're ready, go. Like let it come out of you. But then you're on everyone else's time when it's and sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes they set up around an actor, but this wasn't the kind of film where you like were doing that. Like I didn't have any like a crazy emotional moment where I needed to prep and I needed to come in and do it. It was more just like, we're getting this shot, like this story is being told and we're taking care of the story, but we're not like setting up around an actor who has to do a thing. Yeah. So yeah, it was very difficult. I'll be honest. It was very difficult. And I remember like after the first day, I was like, okay, I know what this is to a point, like not completely, but I know what to expect now. So the rest of these, I think 4 days, I'm going to remember that and I'm going to work on it.
Yeah, that first day must have been like a truck.
It was hard.
So we're like you're around a bunch of younger people practically through the entire movie. How did it feel going into the parent situation? What was the prep like? What was Nick doing with all three of you? Because it was like all party, and it really was like literally all party. We had a house. We were having a really good time. We were all with younger people. But then when we got to that scene, you're with your parents
Yeah.
and with older people. What was like? What was the process like? Because there was a very massive difference.
Oh,
To
yeah.
that scene. And if I remember right, that was the last scene that we filmed for the
Yeah,
movie.
it was. It was. That's when we martinied. It was actually the martini was when we Isabel, who played Skylar, we were walking into the house like in the rain. Like that was the final shot of everything. And then we walked in and they were like, "Stay here." And then like Nick gathered everyone and I was like, "I don't know what's going on." And then he was like, "We have wrapped," and everyone was applauding. It was so sweet. But that was our final shot. We were in that house though with my parents, and that was really, I loved working on that scene specifically because it was a very emotional scene, and I remember just being in conversations about like our relationship, like Grace's relationship to her parents, and like what her parents wanted from her and what she wanted from her parents, and like the betrayal of their trust, but her awareness of it and her willingness to do it. And it was just that, it was very much so like a story focused and relationship focused conversation with Nick.
Did you draw from? Because you said that you have two ways of trying to attack something. Were you attacking it by just giving in completely, or were you attacking it from a point of view from that you've also been scolded by your parents, as everyone is?
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were trying to go with that?
It was a little bit of a mixture.
Okay.
And this happens often. It's like usually you got the two, but then you got the in between. So I was giving over to the circumstances of what it was. Like, just I went to a party and I'm not supposed to go to parties. I also didn't tell my parents about it. I'm also like a pastor's kid and I need to keep up my reputation. Like, this is the thing. Like, I cannot be the talk of the town. Pastor Jim's kid went to a party, got drunk, was a mess. Then I like make my parents look bad, and that's so much pressure on a kid. So I gave over to that, and I just had a visceral reaction because I was thinking about it again. So that's giving over to it. I think I also, the inner turmoil of it was something I gave a meaning to, where I connected personally to like, what could I do that would make someone I care, it doesn't have to be your parents, someone I care about disappointed in me. So I thought about that as well. And when we were in conversations, I remember just getting like very emotional, and I just like felt it. And then we didn't do it for like 5 hours. and I was like, man, I really need like a hot second before we hop into this again so I can do that prep. I can get it. And yeah, then it just all comes down to the edit. Like, I feel like I got it in this take. I don't think I got it in this take. Maybe I got it here. Maybe I got it there. Then it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
So that's literally, yeah, it's wild.
And I know Blasphemy has like a really long shooting period, not in terms of one single moment, but like it's stretched for I don't even know how long, but
I don't even know how long. I don't even know.
Have you been in a play or have you done theater in between the two films?
Yeah, after PK, I did Rock of Ages.
How was going back into that?
Oh, it was the best. I love theater. It
just feels like home to you.
It does feel like home to me. And also it was a musical, so that was really fun. And I love all that music. And it was my first time performing in the round. And
You performed there?
Well, not in Circle in the Square, but we did theater in the round. Like everyone was sitting around us.
Wow. How big is the stage? Because there's multiple of you, right?
Like the cast?
Yeah. How many people are on that? Is it a square or is it a circle?
So it's a square. The room is also a square. The theater in New York is called Circle in the Square. That is a Broadway theater. But this was a almost it looked like if you went to like you do a dance class, like that floor.
Okay.
It was like in the middle. And then there were like seats on like levels after that.
On every side.
And then there was also like a little stage on you can't even call it the right because it's a round room. So there was like a little stage there, and then there was a bar, and then there was like backstage. And so, yeah, I could like draw it out in my head, but.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, hold on. So from what I get, people are sitting here.
If they can see this on camera, they see the F and they see all your random drawings.
You know what? Okay.
This is great.
So people are sitting here, right? Mm-hmm. People are sitting there.
Yeah.
And the stage takes up this whole space?
It takes up the space in between because it's in the round.
Hold on, so people are sitting here too.
Can I draw?
Well, no, I'm trying to make sure that people can see it.
Okay.
So hold on. So people are sitting here too. But if I draw it,
you can show it to them.
I know, but now I'm showing them too.
Oh my God.
So people are sitting here.
Yeah.
People are sitting here.
Yeah.
People are sitting there.
Yeah.
People are sitting
and
here.
People are sitting there.
So this entire area is where you're performing.
That's where I'm performing.
How big is that spot? Like how many feet?
Oh God, I don't know.
Well, is it big?
It's a room.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. Okay. So there isn't a stage. It's just the floor.
It is. It was the floor, yeah. It was the floor. And then everyone else was like above us, basically.
That's so weird.
It was really cool. It was very intimate. And it was Rock of Ages. And if anyone knows about Rock of Ages, it's not the most fun thing to be intimate with.
Are you, So they must take your positioning and blocking insanely seriously.
Costuming as well, because you have to be covered. I was wearing like 3 layers of tights.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
blocking's very important. You can't kick anyone in the face. Like yeah.
Wow. What was like, since that was your first time performing, was that your first time performing in that stage?
Oh, in the round? Yeah. That was the first time I ever
What was like
did.
the first advice that you got or the first thing that you knew that you now needed that you were like, whoa, yeah, now.
I can't play to everything out here now. I have to play behind me. Because then behind me is not behind me anymore. Then it's in front of me. No, that's not what I mean.
True.
Behind me. True.
Behind me is everything.
Behind me, yeah. So like
everything is in front of me.
There's always going to be someone who can't see me or what I'm doing.
Yeah, they won't have perfect vision of you.
So I have to be constantly moving. I have to always be turning. I have to always be like.
I feel like I'd be dizzy by the end of the night.
I was like a baby deer a little bit. Like I was like kind of all over the place, and I was wearing heels.
Was your turning for the theater just a natural thing that you have to do for that stage, or is it part of? Oh wow! Is it part of the blocking that you have to do?
Well, they block it so that so that you are doing that and you're playing to everyone at some point. They do that specifically, but when you have your freer moments, you just have to remember to not
stay static.
And it was a big learning curve, but the second that you get it, and then you're just constantly. Then it's just like fun. Then you're just playing. You can like talk to anyone. You can not talk, but. You can just like move around so freely. And I love that experience because of how free it was. And also singing 80s rock music and freaking love that. Ugh, the best songs ever.
Wow. I feel like I'd be so scared.
Really?
I'd be scared like hell.
We have to talk about this. We have to talk about me in 111.
What is
Okay, this is
what
so
is
important.
111?
Okay, all right. So when I graduated, well, actually, that entire year, okay, let me start here. I made the decision not to go to college, and I started seeing 111 everywhere. And I was like, okay, it's on clocks, it's on this, it's on my receipts, it's on blah, 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 blah. I just can't stop seeing it everywhere. What does it mean? I know that repeating numbers are angel numbers. Let me look it up. And it means trust your intuition. It means you're on the right path. It means that if you've made any decisions recently that are big, trust it and just follow your gut and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, this is kind of crazy and very apropos for my current situation. So I was just like, all right, 111, these are my angel numbers. This is what it is, whatever. And then it just like progressively got more intense. And my mom and I just talked about it all the time. And like she got me a 111 necklace and it was like a whole thing. It was really cute. And oh my God, literally I got a varsity jacket for choir.
That's wild. That's a crazy thing to say.
I know.
Oh, varsity jacket.
I know.
For
Don't
choir.
do it. Don't. I'm a nerd and I know it, and it's just that's what it is.
I just didn't even know they gave them out.
They shouldn't. Makes
They
sense.
shouldn't.
It doesn't make sense.
That's a power trip right there. That's crazy. Well, I mean, the arts deserve jackets. I don't know if they deserve a varsity jacket.
Okay, the arts deserve something, but a varsity jacket is really strange.
They keep you warm.
They do, and actually, they're really cute, and I still love mine. And
What color
whatever.
is it? What's the colorway?
It's like white leather, and then the sleeves are black, and they have like little red rings.
It's a main white jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're gonna have to send me a picture. I don't think
will.
I've ever seen a mainly
Oh, wait.
white varsity jacket.
Am I wrong? Is it like mostly black and the sleeves are white?
That I've seen. That I
It's
can.
that.
Well, send me a picture so we
I
know.
will. So I also remember. Maybe I'll send. Yeah. Okay. But on that varsity jacket, you can like get whatever patches you want, and I had like my little choir patch that I had to get because I had to show that I got a varsity jacket for choir, and on the side I got 111, and that was like a whole thing, and so I saw it everywhere and it was crazy. And then I was putting out my EP and I was just trying to figure out like, okay, let's give myself a timeline. I was talking with my producer. We're like, let's make sure that we're like not going to cut ourselves like too short, but we also want to like have a little bit of a fire under our ass for it. So it's like March, we're having this conversation. And we were like, okay, let's think about the fall. Maybe we release the first single, like early fall, September. We'll think of a Friday, because you usually want to release music on Fridays, New Music Friday, which is also like, you don't have to release music on Friday. This is a whole different conversation, but we'll put a pin in that idea. So we're thinking about Fridays after September. You usually want to do like a big release or like any release after a first single, anything, like 6 weeks after. What's in November? What's the first Friday in November? The first. 11/1. And I was like, do you understand? I was like, I curled up into a ball and I started like yelling into my hands in a coffee shop. Like that's really what my reaction was to this. And
Did you release Big Music Fan on 11?
I released it on 11/1.
That's crazy.
And it has just been a thing forever. And also the craziest one, and I'll end it here with just this story, this tall tale. So
Your next one will have to be January 11th.
There is something coming out on January 11th. There is.
That's funny.
There is.
Okay.
And this is probably coming out after January 11th, this video.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, okay, either way, something big is coming out on January 11th. Because it is 111. Anyways, this story I'm going to tell very quickly. I turned 21 this past October. Woohoo. And I went to Florida, and I went to Disney, and I did like the whole drinking around the world in Epcot. That was really fun. I rode Ratatouille at the end of the night.
Does it live up to the hype? Because
Yeah.
everyone talks about it.
I think-
Everyone talks about it.
I think so. I mean, as long as you're sharing your drinks with your like family and friends, or you will die.
How many countries are there?
Oh, I don't know. But I know that
There's
I did
gotta
all
be
the
like
ones on the
8,
shirt.
right?
No, well, on the shirt, there's like maybe 11. Oh, there's 11 on the shirt, I think.
11 drinks?
11 drinks. Wow. But you share them with your family and friends.
Yeah,
And
that is a
also,
lot.
there are more places in Epcot, like in the World Showcase in Epcot, but there's only certain ones on the shirt. And really what you want to do is check off the shirt. And it's also hard to drink every single place. Okay, whatever. That's a whole thing. Anyways,
Yes.
So on my birthday, I was actually at Disney Springs. So the day after, I think actually there's a rule where you have to be, it has to be like the day after you turn 21 to do drinking around the world in Epcot. Like that's kind of the thing. So I did it the day after. The day of my birthday, I went to Disney Springs. And I remember just like having the best time, going everywhere, blah, blah, blah. It's the afternoon. I was born at 4:49 p.m. And I
We're
was
close.
like,
I'm 5:05
really? That's so fun.
p.m.
Yeah, PM. And I was like, oh man, I really should check my phone to see like when I turn 21. Let me look at my the time on my phone. It was 3:38. And the time difference
Yep, it's 111.
from an hour and 11 minutes.
Rachel's gonna cry now.
Isn't that insane? Isn't that psychotic?
I think you have 111. I don't know what the right medical term is.
Itis?
I don't know what it is. But I can tell you, you got it. You definitely
Thank you.
have it.
That's very validating.
Not saying that
to
that's
hear.
a bad thing, but I am saying
No,
that you
it's
definitely
the best
have
thing.
it.
It's great. It's great angel numbers. They are great angel numbers. Intuition, gut feeling.
Do you think there is a similarity between your acting and you being a musician? Or to you, is it the same thing? Yes.
Yes.
That means there's 5 minutes.
There's 5 minutes left. Damn it. Okay. I know. I'm just kidding. Okay. The differences and the similarities.
Or is it the same thing? Is all art the same thing?
To a point. I mean, it's all parallel in like the way it's created, the way that you critique yourself, the way you edit it. Like literally like mixing a song and like editing a video is like the same thing and you have the same issues, even though mixing music is very difficult. Music is hard and
It sounds hard.
it makes you go insane sometimes. But I love it more than anything in the world, so I will do it always. But they're so parallel, and I think I mean, writing a song is very much so like I've said it before, but it's like another limb for me.
Okay.
And it's just like it's because it's an extension of yourself. But a character is an extension of yourself that you, by the end of it, you can kind of like cut off and amputate. However, music is like you just have another leg, and you're like, can't get rid of that now. So, yeah.
And you just put out Big Music Fan.
Yeah.
And I love I always forget the name.
Not a Baby.
Not a Baby.
You did say
which
you
I
like that
love.
one, yeah.
And you're doing your music videos.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get, because I feel like after I would put something like that out, I feel like I wouldn't be able to put out anything for like thousands of years because of how much time and effort for music. I feel like, I don't know, I guess film for me is just easier, so I could do it more. But how'd you get to make a Christmas EP? It feels like so fast after that.
It was
it just
happening at
like
the same time.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so then when did you in the middle of that say, you know what, maybe we should start another one?
Well, it didn't happen in the middle of it. I made the decision to do a Christmas EP like maybe honestly, I think I made the decision to do both at the same time. I was like, oh, I know that I'm going to be making these.
That's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
I'm thinking of Christmas music in July.
Well, this is the thing. The catalyst was I had all these songs that I wrote, and I had a solid 6 that were cohesive and told the story that I wanted to tell, and they were also my best songs that I had. There are some that I have that are unreleased, and they're not very good. It's they're my best songs at the time. And now I've written 100 more, and they're all gonna come out very soon. But yeah, I knew that those were gonna be them, and I also had this random Christmas song. And I was like, I love this song, but what do I do with it? And I also, I love singing holiday music because it's very theatrical. Christmas music it's you're using the same muscles a lot, and also a lot of it's very jazzy. And
I actually I think Sabrina Carpenter has a Christmas song. But it's a remix of one of her original songs.
Oh, Nonsense Christmas?
Yes, I'll take that.
Remix.
I will take that one over the original. That one's one of my favorite new Christmas songs.
Mistletoe. Da-na-na-na-na.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Yeah, she's epic. She's so cool. She also has a Christmas EP that's really, really good. I think she wrote
I didn't even know that.
I think she wrote every single song on that EP except for the final song, which is just a cover of White Christmas. But yeah, epic.
So you love Christmas.
I love Christmas. I'm also Jewish. Well, the thing is, my mom is Jewish and my dad is Catholic, so I got both. There's a Christmas tree in my house. I've celebrated Christmas. I've celebrated Easter. That's it for Catholic holidays.
Okay.
But then I celebrate Hanukkah and Yom Kippur and blah blah blah. So there's more holidays for Jewish people. Yeah, no, I love Christmas. I love this season. There's such a magic to it, and the music is the best because it's the one time of the year where I'm I don't really want to hear anything else but Christmas music. I want to hear White Christmas, and I want to hear Winter Wonderland, and I want to you know what I mean?
That's literally why Spotify Wrapped comes out literally
that makes so much
at the
sense.
Beginning of December.
That is really smart.
Because it would be all your totals would get destroyed by Christmas.
It's horrible. Oh my god!
Can you believe that? Can you believe that so many people transition to Christmas music that they literally won't release that. They will release it before.
They'll stop calculating it before. Yeah.
That's insane.
It is insane. And it's also very smart.
And it's crazy because that's literally the only thing that plays. Everyone. Anytime I get into my girlfriend's car, that's what's playing.
Yeah.
It's Christmas music.
Yeah.
Nick loves the Peanuts Christmas album.
Oh my God. Yes. No, it's so good.
He plays it all the time.
It's so good.
Literally all the time.
I want to get it on vinyl. There was a repressing of it.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
But I love them. Yeah. They're so cute.
They are so cute. I love Snoopy.
So you wanted to make a contribution to the holiday.
I did. I really did. And I love Chris. It was also really hard to choose what songs I wanted because I was I want to do them all. But I knew this was going to be the first thing that I did. So I was what ideas do I have that are the strongest? I have my original. Maybe I'll do 4 more. I want it to be a 5-song EP, really. And because Big Music Fan is 6, and the difference between 5 and 6 is so much. Actually, in music, it is. It's really, really big.
I believe you. Believe me, the difference between
you're cutting out
11 scenes and 12 scenes is a difference.
Yes. So I knew that I wanted to do the covers that I wanted to do. I took. There was one day I was humming Most Wonderful Time of the Year, just weird, most wonderful time. And it was just this is not the same tempo at all. I was is it the tempo or is it the time signature that's different? And I calculated it in my head. I was what am I doing? I'm doing it in 4/4. And then there's a few beats of a few bars of 2/4, and like it originally is in 3/4. I don't know if this makes sense. I
am trying to keep up, but they will know.
They will know. You know. All my big music fans out there, you know.
I literally what was it yesterday? No, on Monday I was watching Interstellar 70mm IMAX in New York. And to get on the 1 from Penn to Lincoln, I get on, I'm like really tired. Mm-hmm. Like I'm stupidly tired. I'm like up like at a relatively good time, but I did not go to sleep at a relatively good time. I get on and the doors are like closing, but they're opening because there's someone. Aww. And so at the last moment, before the doors finally close for the last time, 2 Hispanic people come into the train and in sync. One of them is holding like a massive bass and the other person is holding an accordion. Oh my God. I'm like, oh Lord. And they started playing Feliz Navidad.
Oh my God.
By Jose Feliciano. And you could see everyone's face was just like, okay, this is pissing me off, but it sounds so good.
But it's kind of brilliant. Yeah.
And it was. They did so good. But I was like, guys, I'm like, my head hurts, bro. But that is all the time we have left. Raquel.
I could talk to you forever.
I know. It sucks that it has to end.
We didn't even get to talk about Taylor Swift.
I know. I like her. I actually love her. But so Peace is my favorite song. I know it is. What's your favorite song? Off the top of your head.
Cold as You. Debut.
Perfect.
It's not my favorite song, though. Begin Again.
Do you know that my girlfriend doesn't allow me to listen to Debut?
No. Oh, because
I've never listened to it, ever. Not once. I don't even know a song on it.
You don't know Tim McGraw? Our song?
Not off the top of my head.
Picture to Burn?
Nothing.
Place in This World?
Nothing.
Hey, Steve. No, that's
we
fearless.
Could name every Taylor
That's
Swift
fearless.
song.
I'm thinking about True Looks at Me. Teardrops on My Guitar.
Raquel, it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you tonight. Get home safe. Have a lovely rest of your year. And hopefully I can talk to you again.
You will.
Here soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the Bear Bulb. Go to sleep. You're scrolling for too long.
Not TikTok.
All right.
Oh, God. Was that good at all? Was it good? Yes.
I definitely don't.